impeachment. Yeah, they threw a lot of stuff in it in violation of Rule 23. Rule 23 says you cannot combine counts. It's a defect in their entire case. It's one of the 4 reasons why you can vote to acquit in this case. Jurisdiction, Rule 23, due process, and the First Amendment. They all apply in this case. Let me take my own advice and cool the temperature in the room a little bit. It's about the incitement. It's not about what happened afterwards. That's actually the irrelevant stuff. But if he does, there are a lot of depositions that need to be happened. Nancy Pelosi's deposition needs to be taken. Vice President Harris's deposition absolutely needs to be taken, and not by Zoom. None of these depositions should be done by Zoom. We didn't do this hearing by Zoom. These depositions should be done in person, in my office, in Philadelphia. That's where they should be done. I don't know how many civil lawyers are here, but that's the way it works, folks. When you want somebody's deposition, you send a notice of deposition, and they appear at the place where the notice says. That's civil process. I don't know why you're laughing. It is civil process. That is the way lawyers do it. We send notices of deposition.
I would remind everybody that we will have order in the chamber during these proceedings.
I haven't laughed at any of you, and there's nothing laughable here. He mentioned Mike.
So that was Donald Trump's lawyer, Michael Vanderveen, absolutely melting down on the Senate floor during the impeachment trial because witnesses are going to be called in that trial. This is totally unexpected that witnesses would be called. This wasn't the plan last night when they adjourned for the day. But overnight, late last night, we covered it on the channel. It was reported that when Donald Trump's thugs were in the Capitol and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy called him, begging him to call off his thugs, he wouldn't do it. And he said basically, I guess, Kevin, that these people are madder about the election than you are. They're angrier about the election than you are, sort of implying from Trump's perspective that, these people were right to do what they were doing, or it was understandable that they were doing it, and he had no reason to call them off. And this was confirmed by Congresswoman Herrera Beutler, who is one of the few House Republicans to actually vote for impeachment. And so this morning, in a vote in the Senate, it was decided that there was going to be witnesses. I want to read you Herrera Beutler's statement, or at least part of it, because I really think it gets home what happened and why this is crucial that people be able to speak on the Senate floor, and that some maybe be compelled to speak because now's the time for truth and transparency. She says here, since I publicly announced my decision to vote for impeachment, I have shared these details in countless conversations with constituents and colleagues and multiple times through the media and other public forums. She's talking about corroborating Kevin McCarthy's story. I told it to the Daily News of Longview on January 17th. I've shared it with local county Republican executive board members, as well as other constituents to asked me to explain my vote. I shared it with thousands of residents on my telephone town hall on February 8th. To the patriots who were standing next to the former president as these conversations were happening, or even to the former vice president, if you have something to add here, now would be the time. So what she's saying is now is the time to hear from people, preferably in an official capacity through witnesses. And we are getting those witnesses. 5 Republicans, including Lindsey Graham, which is somewhat of a shock, actually, have agreed with the Democratic 50 senators to hold witnesses during this trial. In that list includes Murkowski, Collins, Romney, these sorts of people, all not really surprises, but Lindsey Graham sort of is. what we're seeing now could be a turning point in the trial. I don't know how many witnesses are going to be called. I don't know who's going to be called. I don't know if people can actually be forced to testify or if it's sort of based on, people sort of have to agree to it. I'm not sure. But what I do know is it almost certainly means the Senate trial isn't going to be over this weekend. And it almost certainly means that more and more of Donald Trump's evil is going to be exposed. I still expect the Republican senators to acquit him, but it is going to be at a much higher political cost, given what we're almost certainly going to hear.